Welcome back to Building in Fallout. In our last extra long episode, I lost all track of time showing off the White Spring, and I didn't even get to all of it. But hopefully you find it useful having a free fast travel location, especially one with so many vendors available. But right now we're right next to it at the White Spring train station because we are going to continue heading north on the rail line to find the top of the world and follow Madigan's trail. So, pretty simple and self-explanatory. Before I forget, I should throw on some protection, since we're out in the wilds. Now, I did take a trip back to my camp, did a couple of things. For one, since we hit level 20, I upgraded to a new hunting rifle that I had found. But I pretty much make my hunting rifle the same build every time. I like to go with the hardened receiver, the aligned long barrel and stock, a perforating magazine for 40% armor penetration, the long recon scope just because it's, kind of a night vision scope, plus the tracking in case something goes out of sight, and then a suppressor for the stealth aspect of it. And now when you get close enough, you have the top of the world radio signal that comes through, but no reason to listen to it really because we're heading that way anyhow. I just heard a scavenger. There you are.
Damn, no caps. Looks like there's almost $200 in here, though. I guess it'll make good kindling.
Oh, come on, give me.
Need some new clothes. I'm getting.
But sadly, she didn't have anything useful to say, so just scavenge around. Might as well. Now, you don't have to take the railway. It's just a more level approach. Not to mention, there's a couple of sites along the way that we can stop and mess around with. Those are signs of super mutants. And they're fighting something. Sounds like a plasma rifle. Or pistol. And of course, if you don't want to engage, you don't have to. Well, that explains the plasma. This guy's gonna get himself killed if I don't help out. Actually, I think somebody's got a minigun, so he just might get killed anyway. Oh, come on, now's not the time to have bad aim. Okay, now if we're lucky, he dropped the minigun. Now we're not so lucky because this thing at best is a level 25. Yeah, we're not that lucky. But that is something that we can deconstruct and hopefully learn something from. Now, when you get to this highway, it kind of runs parallel to the railway. So if you want to avoid this train yard, I want to say it's full of like scorched or super mutants, depending on level and when you arrive here. Could also be feral ghouls. It looks fairly empty at the moment, but I'm just gonna navigate around. What we're more worried about is what's up here on the radar, because we are going to be coming back to this location, this train wreck, eventually. But you have to be aware because there is a sentry bot, as well as a few other robots in the area. But this sentry is going to be the real challenge. Now, when the sentry's cooling off like that, it's the best time to take him out. But be careful, they do explode after they've been decommissioned. So I just wait a few seconds. Now, if we're lucky, he will drop a fusion core. But that's only if we're lucky. And a fusion cell. All of that's good stuff. We shall take it. Now, like I had said, there are a bunch of other robots in the area. And apparently some feral ghouls. Can't get around that way. So if you wish to take them out... Oh, excuse me. If you wish to take them out, you can. Most of them are up in the actual train wreck. They've just been patrolling since the wreck happened. Kinda sad, actually. Alright. Oop. So now that you've gotten this location found, because again it will be of some significance in the near future, we'll go ahead and start sprinting towards our objective, which you can see in the distance. Try not to get stuck in the debris. Now, be very cautious. The path that I'm going to take to get up to the top of the world is littered with frag mines. So I just like to do a VAT scan. Just tap it randomly. And it'll probably end up finding a landmine eventually. But here you can see the railway comes right next to it. But as you're coming up this way past all these firecracker berries and blackberries and whatnot, just tap your VATs occasionally. There are scorched in the area, but right now the frag mines are what's the issue. So when you find one with VATS, just give it a pluck. Uh-oh. You know, going slow is also another way. Okay. So at about this time, you're going to want to turn off that mission because you're having to do the signal strength mission for advancement in the other one. So that you had your first introduction to Rose. If you want, there's a bunch of scavengeables here over at the ski lodge, but what we're interested in at the moment is another Overseer's cache. So go ahead and grab all that.
There's someone in control of this old ski resort, and if I ever find her, I'm gonna wash her mouth out with the first thing vaguely resembling soap I can get my hands on. Selfish. That's the word. Maybe that's why she's alone. Maybe that's why she survived. But the only way she'll tell me what she knows is if I help her first. All the good people I've learned about who've died, and it's the sociopath who still gets to live.
So like I had said earlier, I have upgraded to a level 20 hunting rifle. Usually there's one here on the table, but it seems that someone's come through and scavenged already. Or the RNG just wasn't nice to me. Both options are present. But it shouldn't be hard, not to mention combat rifles and the like are starting to show up. So, good times. But right now we're just doing a bit of light scavenging. Not to mention, awesome. Not to mention putting locations on the map nearby, because now we have to get over to Seneca Rock, which isn't a long haul, but it's a bit of a walk. There's also a train station over here if you want to go find that. Just beware, there are Scorch all about, mostly up in the building or over in the courtyard or the ramparts above the courtyard. So, if you want to take your time, exterminate them. That is always an option. I'm just going to find the train station here so that we have the vendor nearby. Now there's also a vendor in the ski lodge, but it is a raider vendor, so it is raider based plans that they have. So the raider power armor, I think that they have the plans for the grenade launchers, if that's your shtick. But right now, what in the world? Somebody's done loaded this up with a bunch of stuff, including treasure maps. don't know if any of this stuff is useful. Okay, this has to deal with the cryptid mission. Just a few of them do. It seems like everything that they left is just paperwork. None of it super valuable. Yeah, they did. The Molotov. Those actually sell for 1 cap apiece. So not so bad. Yeah, I'm not seeing... Well, there's another treasure map. I'm just gonna take it all. None of it actually weighs anything because it's all documentation, and they're probably just cleaning out their inventory. Go ahead, scrap anything, turn the junk in. Okay, now that we have all that stashed, my goodness.
Killing and looting. Don't want to haul it back yourself? Sell it here.
I've made way too much of certain items, so I am going to sell a good few of them.
Need some ammo, chems, or spiky bits to stab people with? You may find some here. Please don't stab other customers while they shop.
Okay. So from here, we're just trying to find Seneca Rock. Now again, you can cut through here, deal with the Scorched if you'd like. It's totally an option. Not to mention, a lot of the fallen raiders have a lot of frag grenades. That's always nice. Seems to me someone has already come through and cleared this out. So we're gonna move to the next spot. Someone is launching a nuke. You always want to check and see where the nuke is landing. Most of the time it's in the Cranberry Bog going after the Scorched Beast Queen. And we're a little under leveled for that. But just hit your map when you see Death from Above happen, and yep. They're up here. So I'm pretty sure that's, yep, Savage Divide. And you can always look down here and see where it is. But the reason you want to check is just because in case you're close, you don't want to be. Big Boom will take you out. So, not to mention if your camp is within the blast radius, you're going to want to move it too. But for right now, we are doing fine. Now, I always take down can chimes. One, because it's a little bit of experience. And two, because it gives you a bunch of tin cans, which translate into lead and steel. Which is pretty useful. More frag grenades. So this is a good spot to re-up on frag grenades for free. Just because a lot of these raiders like to keep frag grenades when they passed. I hear one, but I don't... Aha! It's like he knew I was looking at him. Sounds like there's one that's right next to us. But where that is, I do not know. Because nobody heard that. Alright, always take board games. Where are... Oh, you're outside. Alright. Not sure who that is, but howdy. Now the cool thing is we're pretty close. Yep. You can even see where the mushroom cloud is. Pretty awesome. Now where? There. Now, while that area is radiated, there are unique enemies and unique flora and fauna, really. Both of them to collect and use for upgrading higher level armor, weapons, and other equipment. We're not worried about that right now because we're still pretty low level for that. Instead, we're just trying to make it over to the Seneca Rock. So, do a little speeding. I think she heard something. Or perhaps not. Okay. And here we go, being over encumbered again. But like I had warned before, you might as well just get used to being over encumbered. It's not the biggest debilitation anyway. Alright. Now, I would keep the power armor on. Oh, that's quite a trek that way. Just because there's going to be a lot of long drops on your way to the Seneca Rock Visitor Center. No, I don't think that there's many random encounters set up through these hills. But anywhere that you see like a little pathway through the mountains, something can always pop out of nowhere. Mole rats, feral ghouls, even death claws when you're here in the Savage Divide. So just keep your eyes peeled. You never know what you might find. You can see all the dust starting to settle from the nuclear blast. But we should be almost right on top of it. Yep. So, yet again, even if you aren't using a power armor setup, if you're just going with regular armor, this is why I say you have a chassis in your inventory anyway, because you could just hop in it real quick and then jump down the mountain without taking all that fall damage. Makes things a lot simpler and quicker than having to, you know, find somewhere that you can jump down. So now that we're here, I don't think there's much here in the caretaker's house. Pretty sure that's really just it. Now you might be asking yourself, why aren't you using a combat rifle? Eventually I might. But for right now, I don't know why it does that. But for right now, we're just gonna stick with the hunting rifle. Oh, looky there. Just because by the time we get, well, what are we now? 21? We're stupid. No, by the time you get to level 25, we're going to be completely switching up the whole shebang bang. We're going to be starting to go for heavy weapons in our perks and such. Thinking I'm going science next. And the reason for that is because we can get damage buffs to our heavy weapons from strength-based perks. which those should show up sometime around level 25. But when it comes to your energy heavy weapons like your laser Gatling and your plasma Gatling, I'm not entirely sure that they run off of the heavy weapon damage or the science boost, and if they stack then it's even better. I'm not entirely sure if they do, but I build it like they should, because when you look at science, you can craft energy weapons and your energy damage goes up by 5%, or if you're on rank 2 of science, you can get rank 1 energy mods and 10% damage bonus. And now there's also like Science Expert and Science Master, which do the same things. So with all three of those science perks, your energy weapons will be getting 30% bonus damage. Not to mention, you're gonna need science for, power armor upgrades, because you will need to have science and another intelligence-based armor skill to make certain higher level modded power armor modifications. So right now we have reached our destination. We are just looking. Whoops, am I stuck? Nope, good. We're going to be looking through a few corpses, trying to find the item we're looking for. But first, we're going to play a little game of who's a Scorched and who's a statue. Of course, that's the easiest thing to do, is if you aren't sure, hit him with the vets. How bad is your eyesight? I'm standing in a big old walking tank. Just a question. So you can see Raiders have a few. Ooh. Raiders have their bodies all strung about. Did you see me? You did not see me. And you can go ahead and, mass collect if you want to grab everything off the Raiders, like again the frag grenades and whatnot. But the one you're really looking for is over here. And you want to grab both items off of him, and that'll send you on a search for a couple of parts, one of which we've already found the location of. Now, be very careful. There are some enclave missions that can go on here that can get rather hectic. It looks to me like that is a diseased honeybeast. Oh my goodness. Well, oop, first things first, I just noticed. Eat some soup. And then just because you always want to be as well fed as you can. Now, I'm not sure exactly where the weak spot is, but I'm guessing it's the face. Oh, those things unnerve me so much. And I hope there isn't another one. But they are really good for excess scrap and whatnot. So now that you've gotten your next steps ready, I think I hear a bug. go ahead and scavenge about. You can find a few things. Strung about here on the Red Rocket roof. There's a few more of them down below as well. Of course, now I'm paranoid that there is another honey beast inside here. Nope. Good. But once you're done scavenging about, what you're gonna do from here, I thought those cups were usable. I must be thinking of the ones from the fairgrounds. But scrap anything that's useful. That thing's over leveled. But at this point in time, the reason I'm not using the combat rifle is because it makes more sense to me to learn the modifications, and then when I can get a super high level combat rifle, use it. But since that's not what I'm going with, I'm just gonna leave it in the dust. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer anything and everything to lighten your load. And from here, we've got 2 areas we can go to. Like I had said before, we found one of them, so that won't be hard to fast travel to there. Even better because, we're all the way up here now, and the fast travel, let's see, it's about, 7 caps. If we came down here to the White Spring, that would be more like 3 caps. So it's not much of a saving grace, but it is an option. But I'm going to go ahead and cut the episode off here. We'll pick it up from the rail yard here, because it's honestly not that bad of a trek to come from the rail yard and then cross the mountain range and then hit the other target area, because this is a super mutant camp. So by coming from this direction, you can actually circumvent having to climb up through the camp and fight all the super mutants. So quite useful. But hopefully you found this entertaining and informative, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.